Doing a selfie video in DFW Airport late at night, waiting for a delayed flight is not the best idea, but this is important and needs to be done. My name is Ed Stefanko, class of 72 at State College High School. I had the privilege of playing for Jim Williams in his first year at State College back in 1969. It was with great sadness what I heard, got the text message from Larry Suey telling me that Coach Williams had passed away. I feel grateful and that I had a chance to meet with him and Betsy a year ago when I was in State College and spent a good hour talking about how much he meant to me. And that's really the purpose of this video. When Jim came and took over at State College, he did really shake things up. I recall that first year, it was quite an impression on a 15-year-old who had the privilege of starting as a sophomore for State High. He came in, he brought Phil Gill with him. Phil, of course, was coaching all of us back in junior high, and we had a successful record. Phil was a lot like Jim, although Phil just could look at you and you knew he was angry. Jim, on the other hand, you knew he was angry because you could hear him a mile away. My grandma Stefanko used to say, you cry at weddings and you laugh at funerals, and I hope that's the purpose of this video. Jim, I know you're up there listening to us. We're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you. I have two fond memories of Jim, and one of the things, the first one that stood out is I remember my sophomore year. I think we were playing Chief Logan. We had a losing record at the time, and Coach Williams just had a tendency that he would give us a quote-unquote pep talk before every game. He would kind of go around the room and single each player out and kind of let you know what his expectations were in a very vocal way. Up to that point, Larry Suey, who was also starting, the two of us had not been singled out. Things changed that game. I remember Tim Curley, Alan Sherritt, and Bruce Ellis were kind of behind Jim across the room from me. And all of a sudden, Jim comes in on me and he goes, Stefanko, 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 Stefanko. Everybody asks how Stefanko's doing. Stefanko, you haven't done shit yet for us. You better get off your ass and go out there and do something. And then he came in on Larry. Suey, Suey, Suey. Everybody asks, how's Larry Suey doing? Suey, you can't even carry your jock strap. All the while, I'm looking behind Jim, and there's Tim, Bruce, and Alan. And Curly goes, like, holy shit, what's he doing? But that was Jim. Funny thing happened during that game. I learned a lot about motivation. We were losing to Chief Logan 6-0. As I recall, we punted, and I was the deep snapper. Punt was very high, and hang time was there. I came down the field. I was the first one down there, and for some reason, the guy did not call a fair catch. As soon as the ball touched his hands, I hit him high with my helmet, knocked the ball loose. Larry picked it up. We scored a touchdown and beat Chief Logan. And as I recall, that was the first win on our winning streak at that point. Jim liked to shake things up. That was no doubt about it, and that was the motivation speech. Now, I'm not so sure it worked for a 15-year-old. Well, I was at the time. But again, I learned a lot about motivation from Jim. The second memory I have of him was learning a lot about accountability. I remember in junior year, we were undefeated, and the hurricane hit Pennsylvania. The weather was terrible. It rained cats and dogs all week. It was so bad we practiced inside in the gym. Not even Joe Paterno's pep talk on the Friday, the day of the game, could help us. And Joe said, you know, the better team will win. Well, Memorial Stadium was a swamp. Mud was deep, and they kicked our ass, beat us pretty bad, and really avenged themselves from the loss that they had the year before when we won and won the conference championship as a result. That Monday, we came to practice, and we learned a lot about accountability. First thing Jim said is, nobody's position is secure. You're all going to go out there and earn your position all over again. We had full contact drills. Those of us who were linemen had board drills where you had to block on the boards. If you fell, you landed on the board, kind of hurt a little bit. We ran the hill behind the senior high school, of course, to get some exercise, and we were running gassers. At the end of the week, we won our positions back, and Bellefonte didn't stand a chance. We beat them badly. So I learned a lot about accountability in that day, because the bottom line was you were out there to do something, you had high expectations for yourself and for your team, and Jim made sure that we follow through on those expectations. Betsy, to you and your family, my deepest sympathy. I just want to let you know that Jim touched a lot of us. I'm not just the only one. I know I was talking to Mike Archer this past weekend, and we both had tears in our eyes talking because he meant so much to us and we learned so much. And a lot of what we are today is because of people like Jim Williams and Phil Gill. So I wanted just to say to the kids, you had a great father. We appreciated all the things he did for us and how he helped us develop. I want to read a prayer. I grew up in the Russian Orthodox Church, and this is a prayer I'm going to read to you because I'm not sure I can say it without reading it. Bless, O Lord, the soul of your departed servant Jim, that he may rest in peace in a place of brightness, a place of repose, with the hope of resurrection and life everlasting. May our memories of him be eternal. We'll miss you, Jim. More importantly, thank you for everything that you did for us.